Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace. What's up?
Peace.
Everybody doing? What's up, Mr. Wilson? Glad to have you today.
Glad I can actually be up on time for a live stream today.
You usually sleeping during this time?
Yeah, I be knocked the fuck out.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you could join us today. We got a good topic. And the topic is, when are we going to finally do it right here? Good question, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a description. Black innovation and entrepreneurship have shaped industries nationwide, from banking, OneUnited Bank, to automotive, Derrick Automotive, tech, craft beer, Harlem Brewing Company, and beyond. Yet too often our communities hesitate to invest in the excellence we've created. Suppose we can produce cutting-edge electric cars, sustain black-owned banks, and craft award-winning beverages right here in America. Why does systemic underinvestment persist in Black Wall Street, Atlanta, Black-owned financial institutions, and other visionary ventures? This live stream unpacks the disconnect between our capacity to create and our commitment to uplift collectively. We'll confront tough questions, such as what cultural, economic, and psychological barriers keep us from doing it right here for Black-owned enterprises? How do we move from individual success to collective wealth building? What would it take to revive the spirit of Black Wall Street in today's economy? So join us in a candid dialogue on reclaiming economic sovereignty, redirecting our spending power, and finally answering the call, if not us, who? If not now, when? That was a mouthful.
And at this point, so we got black-owned brewing companies, coffee companies, pilots. At this point, I think it's a lot of non-investment from black people in America because they just think everybody else's shit is perfect.
Yeah. You know what inspired this live stream? I had a conversation with my cousin, and he let me know something. I usually am pretty aware of things. You know, I'm pretty aware of what's going on. But he showed me that they actually have Black people manufacturing electric cars in Atlanta. And they
Oh,
look
wow.
doper. They look doper than Teslas. If you In the description of this video, there's a link. It says Derrick Automotives. Click on that link and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because it just lets me know that everything it's almost like you know what they say Jewish people say, no matter what they want, they're gonna find a Jewish person that produces it.
Yep.
It's the same thing with us. I can't think of anything that we don't produce. We produce just about everything. We have all of the pillars of nationhood and the things to get, to actually have a thriving economy in a nation. But we refuse to do it for ourselves and do it for everybody else but us. Did you hear about the sister in Africa? I think she's in Kenya, who created bricks out of waste material.
Such as like plastics.
Yeah.
Huh.
And created bricks. using that technology.
That would probably be cheaper than
Yeah.
using anything else.
Yeah. Turning your waste into like you're not actually building structures with it. And that's just like the examples that I give is just a few that I can think of. There's so many black people doing so many things. And yet we refuse. And the irony of this, Brian, is this. Why are we talking about this?
You're right.
We're nationalists. Why are we even discussing doing things here in America? Yet the guys who talk about we can do it right here, who claim that we're running, that's what they always say, right?
And
We're
yeah,
running
you're
from
running away.
America.
You got to
We're
stand and
running
fight.
away. How come none of these guys have a black bank account?
Well, because you got to deal with the white man's banking regulations, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Those bank regulations that protect your money. We don't want that.
We have to come up with our own regulations that magically, would be different than standard regulations throughout the planet.
Yeah, like building codes. I guess we got to come up with our own building codes too, right?
Yeah.
That's not universal.
Yeah, to stick a black fist on it, they'll feel cozy.
Yeah, meantime, you building buildings that is going to collapse on people. Because like what Minister DeWood always says this, for every code that's in the book, it's because somebody died.
And he is 100% correct. OSHA laws were written literally in blood.
Right. Somebody died and they go, oh, well, we can't do that anymore.
That's why you can't have asbestosis or asbestos anymore in buildings. You got to test cement in the foundation to make sure you can actually put a structure on that part of land. And all OSHA codes are written in blood. Like that's why you had like more than like 100 people in the Brooklyn Bridge, like still just in the cement in Brooklyn Bridge, because the regulations at the time were like, well, you don't want to starve, so climb 1,000 feet in the air and put this bolt up there.
Right. And we can't get you out of the cement because, that's not cost effective. So you're just part of it. You're just a part of the infrastructure now.
Yep. Hey, Tommy just fell. Well, just pave over his ass. It's cheaper than ruining the cement there. Just pave over his ass. We'll send his family some flowers.
Man, I'm really. Oh, let me just say what's up to the people in the chat. I'm sorry. Peace to y'all. If in the chat room, if you could please just let me know, why don't the Do It Right Here people actually do it right here? How come they don't support any black institutions? I find it weird that you have black nationalists who are focusing on Liberia and Africa are ringing the alarm and telling people what they should do here in America, and the people who claim we're running from America don't do shit. I have yet to hear OneUnited Bank come out of any of these black talking heads' mouth. Why is that? Is that a rhetorical question? Or I really want to know if somebody has the answer.
I'll be surprised if they even know it exists.
We got Chef Rob with us.
Hey, Chef.
Chef, can you talk?
Greetings, brother. Hey, I got a mouthful of smoke. Hold on.
Yeah, once he gets through with the smoke, he'll be back with us. It's quite all right. It's all right, man. I should be smoking.
I got cramp in my stomach. Tight muscles. Hold on, man. Okay. To partially answer your question, because it's like, I think it's like a group of them. Let me first say greetings to everyone. How we doing? So let me get that out. The thing is that I see, you got like for it's several different groups of them. You can go ahead and put them in different categories, but you got I just want to deal with one group. It's those ones that you go ahead and look at them, and you think they black, you think they of African descent, but you better go ahead and do like the minstrel man kind of thing. You better get up there and touch that face and pull that paint off their face because they ain't black.
Mm.
Ooh, that was a good hit. Yeah, because they ain't black, they ain't for you, you know. They because they basically, I'm of the mindset was, hey, look, you know, I don't think that keep on trying to do it right here is the thing that's going to be working. I think to go ahead and be like a lot of these foreign groups, like the Chinese buying up America and the Japanese holding a lot of the selling off their U.S. bonds. I mean, they doing it from over there and they own some of America. So that's what I think we should be doing. You know, so you have our people over here buying up all the shit, but you know, living over there and dealing with the nice climate and oh man, don't get me thinking about that. Y'all, yeah, you brothers been to the continent, man, and my memories of it, man, was still great, still with me too, man. So I want to get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you're in America and you're black and you're not working on your exit strategy, I don't know what to do for you.
For real, because with all of the stuff that's going on with your orange bastard as president, it's going to be real messed up for a lot of people that have lost jobs and they're affected by the economic situation. You're going to have a whole lot of people that's going to be taking that alternative route, and crime's going to increase, is what I'm saying. So,
oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Like, have you guys been affected by the tariff price hikes yet? Because I know I went to CVS today and the shelves is empty.
Ooh, that's a good thing. You should took pictures. Okay, like last night I went to get gas, right? And I remember the orange bastard going ahead and telling everybody, "Oh man, egg prices are down, gas prices are down." But I went over to the damn gas station, man. It's like $4.69, and for the regular, and then for the silver, it was like $5.01, and then they had another level, which the premium level, and that was like almost $5.50, and if you leaving here and go ahead and dealing with your own shit, you got to go ahead and deal with some of the stuff you got here. You got to figure out a way that we got to go ahead and get our own gas. Go ahead and pay attention to the food and stuff. That's my field, and I a lot of experience in that area. But we're gonna have to deal with a lot of those things. You can't go ahead and try to deal with some of that stuff because it's putting stress on you. Just like you said, you went to the store and the shelves were empty. You're like, damn, now I got to go ahead and find this shit. So it's taking up, consuming your thinking on how you can go ahead and better your life and better your family and provide for your family when you got to go ahead and be worried about that kind of stuff. Hey, the product's not on shelf. I need this, something I want. My kids, my woman, they need these things. But you can't do that when you got to go ahead and ride around and go ahead and try to find a spot because people drive crazy as fuck. So the least amount of time I spend on the street driving around, that's the least amount of time that motherfucking go ahead running in my car. So you got to get out of here. This is not for you.
I want to ask you a question, Chef.
Questions cost $20. You got money? Because the weed man just left. Go ahead, brother.
What is the difference between a black talking head and an actual government that controls a piece of territory?
A black talking head, which I don't know. In a way, you can kind of go ahead and see the same. They're almost the same. That black talking head just running his mouth, and then the person that's running the country, you got to go ahead and see where he's leading you, where he's leading his message, and where he's leading you to. So you got to kind of pay attention to both. They're almost on the same level. That's my opinion.
But I think the fundamental difference is that one is actually in power.
Okay, yes.
They can control policy.
Right.
The other one is just a black talking head.
They ain't gonna never do shit.
It seems as if the people that push back against nationhood would rather have the black talking head that can control a piece of territory and have their own government and control policy.
Wait a minute, brother. Hold on. The black talking head. Yeah, back to the orange bastard. Look at what he's doing. You know, he just talking and know what the fuck he doing and screwing up shit. You know, that's an orange talking head. So, you know, think about, you know, just pay attention to him. But he's also a part of, you know, he's also in government. And look at what he's doing. Just, you know, I think you got to kind of pay attention to him. I mean, I can go ahead and support some people, but some of them you got to go ahead and look at their message.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, you know, well, if I don't even want to get into Trump because that's another story. That's white folks and their problems. Unfortunately, because we have the type of philosophy that we do, we suffer because of that.
Okay, I get you.
Good. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're stuck here because we want to be listening to these black talking heads. We don't want to have any socioeconomic and political power here in America. We don't want to support our own institutions here in America. I actually have people arguing with me about supporting black banks and saying how by just supporting black banks, that's not going to free us. That's not going to lead to any empowerment.
That's that mentality of the white man's ice is colder than the black man's.
Yeah, it's just a very weird stance for a black person to take. Like, so then what's the alternative to that?
Wait. Hey, let me throw another one at you. You know, you talking about the black talking heads, and I was trying to think of someone that people kind of recognize. Jesse Lee Peterson. That is one of them fucking black talking heads. Yeah, because he's going ahead telling you, that he's trying to down Africa every chance he get and trying to tell you that you're ridiculous for going having your views the way you have your views based on your life's experiences. You know, that's why I'm here, because based on my life's experiences, because I got sick. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Well, Jesse Lee Peterson is one of those Negroes that would be executed if we had our own nation.
Can I get the rifle?
Be my guest. He's not even worth talking about. The people that really bother me more than him, because we know where he stands. He stands against us.
Okay.
The people that bother me are the ones who are supposed to be on our side. The ones who pushing the black talk, blackity black, and they don't want to invest and support anything black.
Oh, but what about the ones who like, you know, the house is already, you know, it's being built and they stand on the sidelines talking. Then once the house is, you know, because I think that we're in the stage of building this. So, and you got to go ahead and look at here's your boy, Collar Nation.
Who?
Collar Nation, Dwayne.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know a guy named Lester Jenkins.
Lester. Okay, yeah. I had threw him out of my mind because I got some real serious personal issues going on. But yeah, you know, he's an example of that, man. He's a big example of that, you know, because he wants to go here. Yeah, we're doing this and doing that, you know, and you shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. It's a few of them out there, man.
Oh yeah, they shall remain nameless.
Okay, I see that name's been banned, so I apologize, brother.
Yeah, I don't even know who that was, but I'm pretty sure they're banned. I don't know the whole list. But yeah, it's like the inspiration for this live stream is that every aspect of nationhood we possess as a people, yet we refuse to consolidate it under a banner. We refuse, like, you have OneUnited Bank, which is, in terms of branding and money, the number one largest black bank. And that's not saying a lot, because that's like saying you're the tallest kid in kindergarten right now. But we could support it, and we don't.
Right.
I don't even hear about it. You don't even hear people talking about it.
Right.
They don't even know that it exists. Just like I didn't know that black folks is manufacturing electric cars.
Right.
Did not know.
Did you see the video of the brother who's going ahead and showing people how to take plastic and all this other stuff and go ahead and turn it into motor oil and gasoline? Which is that's
but that just strengthens my point.
Yeah. That's, and also you got to go and think, you know, plastic comes from petroleum. And it's brothers out here and brothers and sisters out here doing some stuff, but you know, they're not getting that recognition and getting the cameras in their face. It's ridiculous.
How many stories have you heard about grandmasters in chess that's like 10 years old? It's black. Who who have the brain power, the strategy, and to be a grandmaster at chess and go work for a white corporation.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because we don't have anything in place for them to come. We don't have a nation of our own that we embrace, that they can come and lend their resources, their mental resources to that nation. We produce the geniuses and they work for our enemy.
Yeah.
That's the reality. The first black this, the youngest black that, and all of them work for somebody that ain't us. But that makes sense to people. I'm the crazy one because I'm pushing land infrastructure nationhood, and all I've been getting for 30 years is pushback.
You know, you got to go ahead and look at, because a brother pointed out to me a while back, man. It's like, hey, look, they weren't groomed for that. They were groomed to go ahead and work for the European. They weren't groomed to go ahead and work for themselves.
Nice image.
Yeah, brother.
But what about
haven't
all that
figured out how
black
to do that.
fatigue?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. I'm pretty new to that, so can you break it down? Because I just found out about it.
It honestly, it just kind of popped up out of fucking nowhere. But it might have been after the case of the drunkard Karen who has multiple DUIs, hurling a racial slur at a 5-year-old that's autistic. And people were like, hey, this is pretty bad. Then all of a sudden, next thing we know, black fatigue. Then you have the Negroes going, well, it ain't really black fatigue, is nigga fatigue. We tired of the ratchet stuff. And it's like, are you really?
Freaking crazy.
Do you see the image?
Burnt out, bombed out, black owned. I guess was a business at one point.
That's pretty much how it looks at Black Wall Street in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's like a ghost town.
Which is crazy.
I haven't been there in a few years, so.
Yeah, and it's the place is nice. Don't get me wrong. Place is nice. You know, newly built. Nobody's there. It's just empty. But this is what the black talking heads, you know, they endorse this. As a matter of fact, no, I'm gonna tell you what they endorse right now. I'm gonna show you right now what they endorse. This is what they endorse.
Oh man, you just turned my stomach. I gotta vomit now. Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is what they endorse. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Stay calm. The white man got this. They have total faith and confidence in the white man and absolutely none in their own people. That's the reason why they don't support OneUnited Bank, but they support Chase. They support TD Bank. They support Citibank. They support Bank of America. Yeah. Anything but the black bank.
Right.
And that's the reason why we got this.
Yeah, you explained that picture a lot better. Because I kept saying, I was like, wow, that looked fucked up.
Yeah, because it is.
Oh wow.
Oh, who was this? Was somebody was explaining? You were explaining black fatigue a little bit more.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a white backlash because they dare question anybody dare question a white woman getting money for being a racist piece of shit. Then you on top of
so
that, you
white
have
people people hijacked that, or did they come up with it?
No, they came up with it, and then a couple of the Negroes just added on to it after the fact. The funny thing is, like, I don't know what the hell black fatigue is, because if they try and tie it in with DEI, Negroes ain't even in the top 5 of beneficiaries of DEI.
But you listen, but you know, feeding off what you just said, brother, it's like, you know, People coming to America, they're pretty much told that all of the problems are because of black folks, and the news media push that message that, hey, look, all the crime is because of everything horrible with America is because of black folks. They keep pushing that so much.
Eric Blakely said that they hijacked it.
I don't know
Eric,
from where then.
what was the original purpose of this black fatigue? Or if anybody else knows, in the comment section, or if you want to, come on in. I'll put the link. I'll put the link in the chat in case anybody wants to come in and explain it. Because I just recently heard about it.
If they hijacked it, I don't know from where, because I haven't heard anybody other than white people say it, then followed by black people saying it. Mind you, like all the problems we have now are not from black people.
Amazing.
It's like, was that Dave Chappelle skit, 1-800 blame a nigga? That hotline has never been, canceled, put down.
Oh yeah, I told you. We everything. The problems with America is black folks, and well, I won't say that because you don't want to talk about the orange bastard, but they have already been trying for years to get us out of here. So I'm like, hey, look, if you're gonna go ahead, you want to go ahead and deport me, make sure that I'm not in handcuffs when I'm on that plane, and also I got some resources, and I'll fucking leave gladly.
Oh, I've always said that. Except if I leave, if they want me to leave, I'm going first class.
Mm-hmm.
Not going coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going in first class wherever they want me to be. I have some suggestions.
Go for it, brother. I love to hear him.
Oh, here he says. Eric says, concept of black fatigue originally was the idea of us working twice as hard to get where they are to still catch up. Oh, okay, I got it. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that it would be that initially come from black folks and then white folks take it and turn it into something else. That makes sense. He says kind of like woke was hijacked and remixed as usual.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Black fatigue. Well, you know what? These Negroes need to be fatigued. If you don't want the solution, then what else is there but fatigue? Ain't nobody telling you to just stay here and take this shit. Even if you are here, why not? Why wouldn't you be working on getting out of here? An exit strategy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because they copper color Moors, they the real Cherokees. Like, is every excuse in the fucking book to not actually like do something else. Like every excuse. They moved on from wanting 3 states to hashtag reparations because black people ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm. We got money. It's just how black folks spend it. That's the biggest issue. What you put your money on. So it's so many of us think that fantasy and materialism, the glitter and lights, is something that's really important, and that's the stuff that's killing you. Stay away from all that stuff.
Can you remove your image?
I
think it's taken away. Because I removed mine because some people saying they can't get in. So I think it must be taking away a spot. Okay, thanks.
I didn't know that was still up there.
It should work now, Eric.
I'm still learning this thing here. That's why I was just threw that up there, man, because I thought it was just going to replace that living room setting.
Yeah, I don't know if it takes a person's spot, but it seemed like it did. I don't know. I'm just learning about this stuff too. They put a lot of new features on here.
I don't even understand the old features. That's why I was trying to give you a call so you can go ahead and teach me how to do this, man. Because I ain't used to streaming out here. I got so used to the blog talk, man. So I don't even know about this one.
Nichelle Law. I hope I'm saying that right. Reparations isn't the answer because it will be used an example of white people doing enough, but what it will leave black people without the ability to produce for themselves. Actually, it's not going to happen anyway. And I'm not being negative. I'm just being, honest and looking at things for what it is. Because in order for black folks to get reparations in America, it has to pass the House, it has to pass the Senate, it has to be signed into law by the president. Am I wrong?
No.
What are the chances of that happening?
0.
Especially today.
Yeah, so it's a fantasy that people want to engage in. I'm not saying that people shouldn't engage in it. I mean, if you want to, there is a case for reparations if you want to go. But I'm saying we should do tangible, concrete things right now, and we don't need reparations to open up a black bank account.
Let me veer off just a little bit. It's you got a lot of brothers and sisters out here to go ahead and tell you, you shouldn't get reparations because that happened a long time ago. That shit makes me mad as hell.
Oh, yeah, those are the people who are against it for all the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing better than America. Get your ass out of my face.
Oh, Eric Swade, that's who you are. Peace, brother. Reparations is unrealistic, Mr. Xavier says. 12% of the population will not make 88% do anything. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't believe in deluding myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't even get I had a couple of episodes on reparations, and like I said, reparations means repairing a nation. It doesn't mean repairing an individual. So the way that we look at it is wrong. When we look at it about just getting a check, we're not looking at it the right way. And in a perfect world, well, I wouldn't say a perfect world, but in an ideal situation, if white people were to give black folks reparations, it would probably be the worst thing that ever happened if they just gave individual checks. Because two things would happen. We would not form our own nation and put that money and resources into our own nation outside of America.
Mm-hmm.
And two, racism and discrimination is off the table. You can't even mention it anymore. Because the moment you mention it, they're going to ask, what was your check number? No longer can you bring that up. No more white guilt. Yes, no more white guilt. It won't work anymore because they'll go and find your check number. This is what you got, Negro. Why are you still complaining? And then everybody will go, you know what everybody will do? They go, oh, snap. The BAIO was right. We should have put our money in the nationhood. What we gonna do now? And y'all already know what we gonna do now, because I told you what we gonna do now when I made that piece called "I'm Snuffing You in a Concentration Camp." That's what we gonna do.
Did you ever see some of these white politicians go ahead and say, "Hey, look, you don't need reparations. You had reparations. You had Barack Obama." Like, how you tie the two together? What kind of shit the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it was crazy.
You say you had Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack Obama. Like,
that's what? Your reparations.
Right. And
reparations
these were politicians I heard say that.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Umoja? Can you talk? Because I know this man is busy. Yep, he probably tied up. But yeah, like the point of this is that we have every aspect we need. Click on the link in the description, guys, and check out Derek Automotives. That's all I ask you to do. Click on that. And you tell me, and I better not hear nobody say that car costs too much when y'all niggas is trying to get Bugattis. Shut up.
You know they gonna say it. You know they going to say it because for
It's
whatever reason,
amazing.
anything black produced or black owned is held to a higher standard than the
Right.
dirty Arab spot up the block.
Yep. That
Or
car costs too much, but
or
a
the Chinese
Birkin bag
dude
don't.
seasoning your food. Yeah, Birkin bags totally fine. Totally fine.
You spending $30,000 on a bag, and you complaining about the cost of this electric car. The Shell Law says in America, every race practices capitalism for themselves. Black folks should follow suit and only employ and buy from each other, no matter the cost. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be wonderful to just support what we already produce and manufacture? Wow, there's a radical concept. Check out our friend Jabari. Jabari, come on, man. Come in. I want to hear your voice. When are we going to do it right here? According to militant integrationists, we're doing it right here, just being here. Yeah, that's true. Doing it right here, just being here.
Being here and complaining constantly about your terrible conditions is doing it right here.
Our sister is here.
Go back to sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Peace, Carl.
Hey, peace, family. How y'all doing?
Peace.
Oh, we chilling. We doing it right here today, Sunday.
That's what's up.
How are you?
I am fabulous. It was raining, now the sun's shining. It can't be any better than that. Yeah, I took both blessings in one day.
Ah, nice.
That's what gardeners say. When you start growing, vegetables in your yard, that's the kind of stuff you pay attention to.
Yes. I miss growing stuff.
Oh man! When I finish this unit, I'm doing in my living room. It's gonna be. I want to send you pictures of it. Right now, I'm just putting it all together. Which I'm big on the aquaponics thing here, so I'm building like a unit in my living room.
Oh.
Because I'm also going to go back to, because before I had like lots of fish and vegetables and stuff. I was using a warehouse space, so I tried to when I came back to America. Try to find those spaces, and these they were tripping the rents on all these places. And the one place I had, the place they said, no, we don't do that no more, because I had it was like 800 square feet I had, and it was like almost $500 a month. Now these bastards want like $1,100 a month for this place.
Wow.
But that's not bad these days. What's the span of time between the 800 and the and the 500 a month and the 1,100 a month? How many years is between there?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Like inflation. You said it was 500 and now they want like 1,100 for the similar type of space. And I'm asking how many years. Was it like 5 years ago or 10 years ago that it was 500?
Yeah, it was about 5, a little bit over 5. Yeah, almost 6 years ago.
Okay, yeah. There's been a lot of inflation since COVID.
I've been attacking that word inflation. I just say I think that's a bullshit ass term. I think that's one of those terms they use just to raise the prices. Because I put it out here like this. Because a lot of stuff for me come from the food industry. So if you take a seed, put it in the ground, what has changed from that seed growing up and you getting it from the farm to your table? It's just everybody want to get
where you plant the seed though, right? If
Not really.
If you're planting the seed in your yard, and the distance between your yard and your table is the same.
No. I'm talking about when it's related to like store prices.
That's what I'm saying. So in that case, if you're planting the seed in Mexico, and the price of fuel has gone up, or the general cost of transportation, labor unions have maybe went on strike and said we want more money.
See?
There's a lot of things that affect the price of things that, we think are good things, right? We want people to get paid more money for the work they do. But at the end of the day, we end up paying more for the products they produce. So things like that, But generally speaking, it's greed. It's CEOs and these corporate moguls being greedy, mostly. But those other factors are there. I mean, now with these fun tariffs, the more you tax people for bringing stuff into the country, the more they're going to charge you for the stuff they bring. Because they're not going to take the loss. They want to keep their profit margin where it's at.
Of course.
So we're going to pay for it.
Speaking of which, Carl, like, has the price hike hit the grocery stores around you yet? Like, are you seeing empty shelves?
Oh man, people, it's what I call it down here in the South. It's like price gouging.
Yes, greed.
They're not waiting. Because first of all, we haven't even used up the stuff that's already here. They act like they just, like he said, tariffs, and then all of a sudden we don't have any supplies in the country. We just had to go to China yesterday. Right. So I understand over time that the tariffs are going to affect us, but we have like 12 months or more supplies already in country. Why are they increasing the price of stuff? Right. They play too much. They play with
we're dealing with people that are psychopaths. We're dealing with people who they want to raise the prices because they feel they can't get away with it and make more money. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. They are getting away with it. I mean, that's and in the money. One of the there's a few factors why they're getting away with it. The biggest thing is, hey, look, when Trump go ahead and lower the taxes, all that stuff, and then all those people made all that money on Wall Street. It's just greed. It's just.
They're definitely greed. They control everything. They control the mechanism, so they control the outcome. They control the goalposts, so they can move them when they want to. They control the ball.
Right.
They control the whole game.
Right.
The whole damn game. Mm-hmm. And we over here having gender wars.
like I told Harlem.
And these sisters, they talk too much. And these brothers, they come on. We over here, we fighting these massive battles, and we looking for other little petty stuff to get preoccupied with.
Right. Not paying attention to, hey, look, how you gonna go ahead and keep a roof over your head, how you gonna sustain your place, keeping the lights on, blah blah. And then also how you gonna feed yourself, and put clothes on your back. You worried. I had I hope you don't get me wrong on this. I had a heated discussion with a brother last year. And he was talking about, I'm voting for Trump because, he's going to keep men out of women's bathroom. I said, motherfucker, I don't give a damn about that. I'm not taking my daughters nowhere where they be exposed to that. So if you're going ahead doing it, that's on you. But I don't care about that. That's not going to go ahead and help me put food in my kids' belly. That issue is not. I'm not going to spend no time on that stuff. I honestly, I don't care. You can walk your, trend, whatever. I don't give a damn about that. I need to go ahead and make sure my kids are going ahead and fed and clothed.
That's fact. If your daughter don't have control over her own body,
right?
God forbid something happens to your daughter, she get raped or something, and she can't remedy that because somebody said, she doesn't have the right to. People are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you worried about her sharing a bathroom.
Yeah,
it's what I always say. We focus on the stuff that has little influence on our day-to-day life. Like Harlem says, whether it's the culture wars or somebody's sexuality, we focus on the stuff that doesn't have a day-to-day really impact on our society, or is not what the majority of society is you experience when you go out on your day-to-day life, right? But the stuff that actually matters, supply chain, food, farming, education, transportation, we're not even having the discussion outside of this group, outside of what we're doing, out of the amazing what we're doing. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about it. Like I stated, we're doing it right here according to the militant integrationists by just being here. Because we are just here, we exist, that shows we are doing it right here.
Then they need to stop all the black talk. Stop complaining about racial slurs being hurled at you. Stop complaining about the Trumpers, whatever. Just you here, you doing it right here. You American like the rest of these motherfuckers.
That's been my point for years. It's like why the pseudo black talk? Just be an American officially. Just say that's where your interests lie. That's what you want to stay tied to the hip with. And forget all this black talk because you ain't really about it anyway. You have all of these institutions that you do not support. So my question is, all right, you don't want to support the institutions that's here, and you also don't want to support nationhood. So what exactly are you supporting?
The path of least
Oh,
resistance.
I know what it is. The white man got this.
Yep. Like I always say, people like water. They'll just follow the path of least resistance. Complaining is the path of least resistance.
Complaining, talking about distractions,
Yeah.
looking for excuses to not do things. Well, what about what you call it? What you call it? Hold up. What about what you call it? The what about excuse or something? Somebody will say, "Hey, we
Oh,
don't."
What Larry's the one who coined it.
Oh, it's Larry. Okay,
Why am I drawing a blank?
I'm drawing a blank too because
Oh, I'm drawing a
we don't
blank
use
on it.
them excuses. That's why you drawing a blank because it's not your lingo.
Exactly.
It's not in your vocabulary. But then,
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. He calls it the yeah but syndrome.
yeah,
yeah. I said
that's
yeah,
what it
but
is. That's the language of cowardice. That's the language of cowardice. That is the language of a coward. Yeah, but we ain't got no armies. We ain't got. Yeah, but you know, yeah, but
Yeah.
we've got the most trained military people in the most powerful army. We might not own the army, but our people are trained. And they
Yes.
know that. That's why Trump is like, get them out of the military, man. If there's a race war, they got us.
Right.
We don't realize what we got.
Yep. Not at all. We have all of the aspects, every aspect of nationhood we possess.
mm-hmm.
My daughter did an internship at the Center for Disease Control after her sophomore year and went to CDC for a summer job. And everybody, like her mentors, you got these Nigerians and freaking African Americans and Caribbean people. It was like a Pan-African bonanza up in there.
Hmm.
And she was like, Mom, I met Black people from all over the world at the CDC. Think about that.
Yep.
Think about that. I mean, they've got Asians and other people, but we there too in great numbers, disproportionately represented. We got nothing to be complaining about. We just got to be organized.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm going to pick up on what she was saying. That the nationhood plan absolutely works. It's the only way it works. And I know a lot of people don't want to see that, but it has to happen. What are you going to do? What's going to be done here? You already got people. You got people scamming money through nonprofits and other organizations. So what's not best to not build a nation outside of the America? It will work. Can I just everyone say what do you guys think about Burkina Faso? Quick,
I'm ready to go. Put
Please,
my
you-
military
Oh
training to
boy.
work.
oh, I like what he's doing in Burkina Faso. I might not agree with these ties with Russia and Russia and all that other stuff, but I do agree with the basic fundamentals, like having your own agriculture, having your own roads, and
But hold on, brother. Hold on. But what choice does Ibrahim have? Because if he go ahead and stay on this route, the Marine general already is putting it down in Ibrahim, and they already got it set to go ahead and help assassinate him. So he got to go ahead and get some protections. He got to go to the other side because they ain't talking like what the U.S. is talking. Trump was talking about going ahead and giving you aid, but taking 50% control of the resources.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty, and that's exactly the kind of felt like that. But the thing about it is, but why would? But that's the thing I like about what he's doing is like you see how all of them are not talking; they're just moving in action. It's just look at, but I think that the inventory stuff, it's a good case study of every African leader that has failed over 30, 40, 50 years, and all the leaders we got here in America with the Congressional Black Caucus, every of them fail 30, 40, 50 years, even your local community. Just look at it and see what he's done in 3 years and compare to what they've done for a long time that they've.
I would
So
say this.
I have a different perspective on it, but I don't agree that every African leader over the last 50 years has failed.
right.
I don't agree. I mean, hell, Thomas Sankara existed in the last 50 years. 50 years is a long
No,
time.
we're talking about the current one, the president, the current presidents that've been there.
Right. I'm just talking about the time frame. We've had a lot of great leaders in the last 50 years. So I just wanted to say that. I mean, I want to say that we've lost great leaders in the 80s. The 1980s was our second golden era towards the end of the Cold War. So we've seen a lot of this East versus West thing, and the whole jargon of it is very nostalgic, is very familiar. And as a student of history, it makes me uncomfortable, really, because it's like I've seen this before. I've seen this show. I've watched it play out, and everything's happening exactly as it did before. It's complete deja vu. And I'm watching all the hysteria and the frenzy that goes with it. I'm watching yet another generation do the exact same thing that was already done and that has already failed. So then the question becomes, what do we do differently?
I'm
What do
trying to
we do
find.
differently?
Let me try to find that. I saw it on YouTube, and it was talking about since 1962, 63, 23 leaders, Black African leaders, have been assassinated. And each one of those leaders, France had a hand in, and also the Europeans and the United States had a hand in
In
assassination.
Israel.
And Israel, yeah, in Israel. I'm trying to
It's
find that, and you need to look at that. And these every last one of those leaders were doing what Ibrahim is doing right now.
I
Well,
mean, but I would say,
they had Samuel Doe on there, so they didn't have it right.
yeah,
I mean, they had some clowns on there too, but
yeah.
I mean, they had the nerve to put Samuel Doe among those people, which was sickening
Oh,
to me.
yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, right? We've had people doing what he's doing isn't rocket science. It's more courage than brains. It's more courage than and being strategic. He's got to be careful. The people around him, the country around him, he's landlocked, and it's time for diplomacy. It's time for diplomacy. It's time for, but he doesn't have the intellectual
Depth.
Intellect isn't the right word. God forgive me. He doesn't
He
have
doesn't
the
have
experience. He doesn't have the experience to really do what he needs to do to sustain what he's working on. So he is going to Russia.
Right.
Russians are white people.
Right.
I keep telling everybody this. They showed us the ASS during the Cold War. I don't like them. I don't trust them. We ain't got no friends out here but us. You understand? We have to understand that. So use Russia by all means if that's going to keep you alive. But what's really going to keep you alive in the movement, which is more important than your individual life, what keeps that going is the alliances you build with your own people on the continent. That's what he's failing to do. And it's dangerous for him.
Very.
Yes, and
I want to get back to the original point, but because the point being basically is that, with nationhood, you get to steer your own direction. And that should be the point, the overall point of what we're talking about is nationhood inevitably leads to you determining your fate. Whereas again, if we do it right here, stay it right here, we don't get that option like that. I mean, we can do some things, but you're limited. You're limited on what you can do. And I think our people, need to make peace and come to terms with that. And that's difficult for some people to accept, but it's one thing I've accepted. I said, listen, if y'all want to stay in America, you have to accept the limitations that are going to happen. You're not going to have this black power state. Okay, you're not gonna have. You can maybe have Black Wall Streets here and there, places where we do black business and have some resources, but you're not gonna have this black power state. And so, as long as our people understand that, and as long as they grasp that, then hey, more power to them.
Well, that can never happen. That would never happen. Excuse me, guys. That would never happen because I think what Hobbesism, because I've known Hobbesism for a long time, he's talked about things like satellite communities. So once I like to go back, sometimes I haven't been doing this a while, but I should. I need to go back to some Hobbesism's old content. Go back to a lot of this stuff that he's talked about over the years, and it's a lot of things that I agree, and there's some disagreements. But you know what? He's on the right track. What needs to be done. So that's what it takes a look. Then you got Library Independence Day.
Uh-oh. Somebody coughing.
That was me.
I was coughing too. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to elaborate. But the importance is understand that having because you'll be able to control the water resources, like all the resources, technology and telecommunications. And what would be a great idea having a nation when you control all the energy resources? You wouldn't have like constant power outages going on in certain places in Africa. You will have like a strong energy source. That would be such a good. I would like to see cities that we actually built through our palm hands. Instead of somebody else building them, I want to see how we created them, how we create the highways, how do we design it, have the best architects and developers.
So I'm confused. Are you saying that we don't have cities that we built?
No. I'm talking about like if we had control of it. If we had control of it.
So where don't we have control over our cities? I'm confused.
Okay, we're talking about like places like say like Nigeria, places like Zimbabwe.
So Nigeria, you're saying that Nigerians don't control their infrastructure development? Because that's not true. I mean, Nigeria, you're talking about a country with over 100 million people. I've been to Abuja. Abuja was built by Nigerians. Lagos, like Victoria Island. Nigerians build stuff. They're building their own stuff. They're engineers. They go to school too.
Oh, and yeah, I know that.
One thing I'll say about Nigerians is they go to school and they go home. Probably more than any other population of Africans that I know through my observation. Nigerians learn and go home. And yes, there's a lot of brain drain from Nigeria, like other African countries, but it's not as bad. Nigerians like Nigeria; they go home.
I went to Nigeria. My parents are from Nigeria. I've been at Nigeria. It's such a. I've been in Abuja. It is nice. It is nice.
But that's an example of what you're talking about. It's built with African hands, right? Abuja was pretty much engineered and designed by Nigerians. Right?
Yeah. But let's see other places like other places, instead of like have bigger, there's other bigger cities in Nigeria. I want to see that the bigger picture, let's say in the next like 15, 20 years. I'm thinking about the future. How would that be if we had a concept of nationhood?
I ain't worried about Nigeria. I think Nigeria is going to be just fine. What I want to see is African countries linking up and cooperating,
I
and
agree.
not only being focused inward. I mean, you got Dangote meeting with the council of the richest people in the world. Nigeria is going to be just fine, but Nigeria is not all of Africa. We need
No, I know that.
cooperation. So it's not about Nigeria being, you know, I think I get what you're saying. It's like, they're emulating Western civilization instead of trying to look inward in Africa and build collectively. I think that's more
Yes,
the issue.
that's
But if
exactly.
Rwanda is developing itself in isolation of everyone else, Nigeria is developing in isolation, Ghana is in isolation. Nobody is doing any coordination and cooperation in the regions. As
With that's the
you
problem.
know,
We need more
yeah,
cooperation, like you said.
that's a real problem. But we
Well,
shouldn't make it sound like African countries are just sitting down and other people doing stuff for them. But that's not
well,
reality. That's a. Mm-hmm.
well. Isn't
And
Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger working together?
not really.
Not
Oh,
really. They're more sometimes, but not really.
So all the hype is about Ibrahim Touré and making this about a person and not about a movement, and that's very dangerous for Africans to keep thinking that way, generation after generation. We have to understand that this is not a movement that of a savior movement. That we're not a cult. That Africanism is some cult where we need a cult leader. Right? It's something that it's a movement where people need to be organized across the board. And you don't organize around a person, you organize around an understanding. And each person, each African person needs to be Ibrahim Touré. You sitting around being a cheerleader doesn't liberate us.
Yep.
We ain't
You need
helping this brother talking,
you need
clap
you
your
need
hands for
skills.
Ibrahim Touré. It's annoying. It's annoying, is what it is. It's
We
annoying, all these AI fake, promos. It's annoying. Get up and do something. Right where
And
you are. Go ahead.
And I
like
also want to add, because I'm glad about how you brought up Liberia, and to bring up the nationhood point that we, keep, emphasizing is our ancestors have shown that it's done, that it's possible, and, as we've learned and learned more about them, we've come to realize just, how great they were and how they set the blueprint with what they have. Because again, I've always stated, our ancestors were able to establish that great nation with half of the knowledge that we have. They didn't have access to all of the knowledge that we had in the circumstances that they were in, and yet they were able to somehow create this and somehow manage it for generations. That right there is the case for nationhood, and the reason why we're on the nationhood path is why reinvent the ship? Why reinvent the wheel? If we're struggling doing it right here, why don't we go to the Black Republic that we helped establish and was specifically designed for people like us? Why it really we're missing time. And I think one of the important things that we have to understand, and I've always said this, is time is of the essence. We can't get those years back, which is why the do it right here people are doing the Black community disservice and borderline malpractice, because we can't get those years back. The time that we spent in 2020, 2021 with Black Lives Matter, we cannot get that time back. We will never be able to redo 2020, 2021. We can't redo the next 5 years the 5 years that went by. We can't undo that. We can't make changes to that. So let's just, focus on that. And, for our people, look at them as the example.
correct.
I would say we have to establish what was the book Holly was reading, The Art of Systems Thinking, so that way
Hmm.
you can groom successors So that way you don't have the inadvertent cult of personality that happens when you got the one person standing up and everybody's like, yeah, but they in the peanut gallery instead of learning from the situation.
Yeah, it's we have to understand there's a reason why there's a phrase, there's strength in numbers. If you have 1,000 or 1,000,000, it makes different than just having one leader, because one leader you can easily take out. It's going to be virtually impossible for me to take out 1,000,000 or 2,000,000 or 10,000,000, because there's strength in numbers. So the more people that get involved and the more people that see themselves as being part of something bigger, the more we can get done, the farther we can get done. And again, telling people, the sense of urgency and what they're spending their time on is imperative, because I keep saying it over and over. I'm going to keep pounding and pounding at it. We don't get time back. That's the one thing we never get back. We don't get our time back. And do we want to spend the next 5 to 10 years, I'm talking about as a collective, and we don't accomplish very little, and we look back and say, man, we lost 5 to 10 years that we can't get back because we was not organizing. We were not being a part of something. We were not doing our roles. And that's something that, I inspires me to do what we do every day. I don't want my time to be wasted. And I don't want that regret looking back 5 to 10 years and said, man, what could we have done?
Amen. Amen. Well, it's past the hour, and I actually got to get out of here, so this is going to end. I will be in the lounge later on, so hopefully people will join me. You going to be there, Jabari?
Yes, I will.
Cool. Brian might need to get some sleep, Mr. Wilson.
I slept long enough. As soon as we got off the Discord last night, I passed right the fuck out.
Yeah.
Can you guys put the disco in the chat so that I can be able to get on?
Not in the chat, because it's not for the public. But hit me up at holipsism@gmail.com.
Okay, I can definitely do that sometime and make sure I can get that Discord.
Yep. All right, y'all. It's been real. We had the pleasure of having Sister Call.
Let me say one thing real quick. This is a little bit. I'm working with an individual. He's trying to bring his show on, and I hope as we progress, you can support us. And that's why I was trying to get in touch with you, Mark, so you can go ahead and give me some insight on how to do this and connect it all. So I had tried to call you, but you didn't pick up.
Probably asleep.
Oh, okay. Oh, brother.
Yeah. It's all right. We can talk.
Okay.
But I just want to say peace to Sister Call. Thank you for blessing us.
Thanks, brother, for everything you do. Thank you. It's my pleasure. And I just want to say to your listeners that what Holub says is a fraction of what Holub actually does. And this is a man who actually does more than he says he does, which is so rare.
Mm-hmm.
Totally committed to the struggle. And he's present with his money, with his mind, with his mentorship, with his presence, everything. This is how we should all strive to be. It's one thing to have a talk show and talk about it, but this is just what he does on Sunday is a fraction of what he does for the other days of the week. And so I just want to make sure your listeners understand that you are the real deal. And this is not, yeah, man, we need to thank you. And that's why I'm saying this, because I don't think we do it enough to really acknowledge the work that people do. But it was a real one. It's very rare to come across brothers like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Love you all.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's the first time in a while in the years this is my first time even talking to you, how it's like since the day when you and Kala and others were together. I know you're not together anymore, but I just like.
Yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about, but yeah, I appreciate it.
No. But I do like because it was when the BIO was founded, and when it was that's what I was talking about, that part. But no, when hearing you, it's amazing because it's like the way you break down political concepts. It's really good, and it's really good. I've listened to a lot of those over the years, and man, it's things that it's vocabulary that you don't hear at school at all. Nothing.
Stop going to school.
No, don't stop going to school. Don't listen to me. Go to school and school yourself, and get teachers outside of school, but don't stop going to school.
Yeah, we encourage school here. But anyway, y'all, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see y'all later on.
Okay, brother.
Bye-bye.
Peace.